Time for us to have a health talk. And to do so, we have Dr. Tiwatayo Lasebikan, who obtained his medical degree at the University of Ibadan, Nigeria, and attended the University of South Wales, United Kingdom, where he bagged his master's degree in business psychology. Now, he's joined us today to discuss controlling anxiety. Welcome aboard. Great to have you on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
You know, I'd like to first define whatever it is I'm talking about.
Okay.
So let's talk about what anxiety really is. What is anxiety?
All right. So, I mean, the first thing I need to say is that every one of us are supposed to have, you know, a level of anxiety. You're supposed to have this, you know, anxious feeling when you're doing something for the very first time, even sometimes when you are doing it over and over. So, but it's supposed to just last, you know, be transient. You are supposed to be able to, you know, get a hold of it. But many times, anxiety gets a hold of people rather than them getting a hold of it. So, and it gets to a point where there is this undue fearfulness, you know, sometimes of specific things, you know, so it could be fear of heights, of, you know, cockroaches, animals, you know, or it could be fear of, you know, things that are not even specific. Just this persistent foreboding, like something bad is going to happen.
Or when you have a meeting, you're like, is this going to go well? And that's why many people mix it up with being nervous.
Yes. So for example, would this meeting go well? There's some form of adrenaline that comes with being anxious, which also helps in performing tasks well.
Okay.
You know, so like I said, the important thing is you being on top of it rather than it being on top of you.
Okay.
So it gets to a point whereby, you know, somewhere you're supposed to be the new, maybe MD, for example, but you feel I can't stand in front of people. And then I can't address them, I can't talk, I will just, you know, the ground will just swallow me, and you don't take up the offer. Now, so it's different for you taking it up afraid, and you know, day one goes, okay, I didn't do too badly today. You know, day two, okay, I think I'm doing fine. But, I mean, I've had patients who did not take up employment, you know, because of anxiety.
Wow.
So we call that social anxiety.
Oh.
There are different types of anxiety, you know. And we have some people who even decide to take particular, you know, roles rather than, you know, so maybe you actually wish that you were, you know, a newscaster, but you can't stand in front of people. So you decide to be a programmer. Not that being a programmer is bad, but you actually, you know, trying to avoid situations where you'll be anxious. So you stay behind the computer. Nobody's going to talk to you. You're not talking to anybody.
But is that a form of controlling it, or you are simply running away from it?
So you're just avoiding it. You're just avoiding it. You know, and then, but there are some times where people don't even know that what they have is anxiety. That's when you have a lot of the physical symptoms. So the psychological symptoms are easy to recognize. So you have things like, you know, being on the edge easily, you know, when being anxious, nervous, poor concentration. There's this, something drops on the floor. I know.
You jump.
You're scared. So those are psychological symptoms, which are relatively, but me, I've seen people who, due to anxiety, have not seen their menses in 4 months. You know,
anxiety to be pregnant?
No.
Just anxiety?
Just anxiety, generalized anxiety. You know, who have different physical headaches. There's this tight band around my head.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of crawling sensations all over my body. I know, and it's, you know, I can't sleep, and it's all back to anxiety.
Wow, it does seem like something really broad that will probably take us days to cover. So you know what? Let's talk about controlling it. How can you control anxiety?
All right. So now, depending on the severity, now when anxiety is mild, you know, the ones that you know, happens to each and every one of us, you know, how you control it, you know, first you can actually start by talking to yourself.
Talking to yourself?
Yes.
In the mirror, or just sitting?
So you can talk to yourself in the mirror. You know, you can talk to yourself while driving and say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this done. You know, this thing is not going to...
Your words will say that's the beginning of madness.
So, you know, I was here last week talking about psychosis. And then talking to yourself can be a symptom of psychosis when you actually don't know that you're talking to yourself. Okay. You know, or when you are talking to yourself.
Okay, so when you consciously talk to yourself.
Yes, so you know what is going on.
You are still sane.
Yes,
but when you are unconsciously talking to yourself.
Yeah, so talking to yourself when you are preaching to yourself. So, for example, I say, okay, so I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get this done. There's something we call, you know, cognitive restructuring. All right. So it's just part of, you know, trying to, this is what I'm thinking. I know it's not the best for me. So let me restructure it. So I'm thinking that, so I'm scared, I'm not good enough. And I say, okay, that thought, does it make sense? What makes you think I'm not good enough? Other people at work, I mean, we are pals if I'm not even better than them. So what do I think? So that is cognitive restructuring. You know, so where you take the negative thoughts that come to you and you actually restructure it, and then, you know, you begin to say the things that actually are right, you know, the positive things. You know, so that's part of what I mean by talking to yourself. So
talking to yourself, then cognitive restructuring. Okay.
Yes. So, of course, it might get to a point whereby, you know, that may not work, and you need to actually see us. Okay. You know, so the point whereby
professional help.
Yes, the point whereby you have where there are you know, a lot of physical symptoms like the ones I mentioned. You know, the person person can't sleep. You know, there's difficulty in breathing. And also, it depends on what type of anxiety we're talking about. Anxiety
can cause difficulty in breathing.
Oh, yes, of course. In episodes, I mean, especially panic attacks. You know, it looks like the person has an asthma attack. Meanwhile, it's anxiety. You know, so those kind of forms of anxiety, you may actually need to seek professional help. There are also little things that we teach people, for example, breathing techniques, relaxation techniques. So when the anxiety comes, you know, if you could just, you know, I don't know how to just, you know, simply explain breathing techniques in a few minutes. But it's something that we can actually check up on YouTube, you know, breathing techniques. Okay. There's a way to breathe in, you know, so that, I mean, you do it in cycles, so that at the end of it, you know, you feel relaxed. Okay. And then you'll be able to walk in. A lot of people, even professionals, you know, what do we call them now? Public speakers, you know, do this before going on stage.
Yes, you have, and then some do all these mouth exercises. But you know what? As much as I would like us to continue, wow, I've learned a lot today, and I wish there was so much more time to talk more about it. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Lasebikan. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll head over to the kitchen now where something is cooking.